Hey guys, it's Wayne Santos, one of the editors here at CGM, and for this week's Sound Off, it's kind of a sad sound off towards social media on consoles. I'm talking specifically about the interesting experiment that is PlayStation Home, or I should say that was PlayStation Home, because not too long ago it was actually announced that PlayStation Home, the virtual 3D environment, which was the Sony equivalent of Second Life, it's going to be closing its doors next year, March 31st, 2015, to be exact. And everybody was assuming that there was probably going to be a PS4 equivalent of PlayStation Home, but Sony has said, it's like, no, that's not happening. And, honestly, that should not come as a huge surprise to anybody, because if there was going to be a PlayStation Home on the PS4, it probably would have launched along with the PS4. And here we are, nearly a year out from its November launch, and there's nothing going on. But the interesting thing about this is PlayStation Home, despite the fact that it's like most gamers ignored it, it's like there were actually a lot of people that used it. I mean, I believe that at its height there were actually something like 3 million users or something like that, which is just a crazy number for what amounts to a 3D chat room. But then you look at something like Second Life, and years down the line that thing is still going strong, even though a lot of the hoopla around it being like this new virtual economy may have died down. The mainstream may no longer be paying huge amounts of attention to it, but Second Life actually does continue, and in trickles and spurts, more and more people still do keep logging onto it every day. So obviously, especially in the realm of consoles, there is a need for social media. I mean, it's like everybody wants to play with friends. It's like everybody talks about the importance of multiplayer. Now you've got all of these functions in it's like games like Drive Club when it works, and games like Destiny, where the whole point is you're supposed to get together and play with friends. But the idea of socializing is obviously also very, very important, because we have the notion of the party chat system, which in a weird sort of way has made the console gaming landscape a much quieter place, because once people realized that they could get onto private chat channels with only their friends, a lot of them stayed there, and you didn't quite have that same crowded random chat in online multiplayer games that you used to enjoy. So there is definitely a precedent here for people actually just wanting to get together online with their friends and socialize, not necessarily in a strictly gaming as a strictly gaming component. PlayStation Home actually fulfilled that function. We're not going to be getting that for the PS4, but you do sort of have to wonder, especially with guys like Facebook purchasing Oculus Rift, if maybe the idea of a virtual chat environment isn't going to somehow resurface. I myself am harboring the notion that Sony may try making a go of PlayStation Home again, but they might be doing it with Project Morpheus, because that with Facebook running Oculus Rift, there's no way that they're not going to try tying in some sort of social media aspect to that. I don't understand how anybody could possibly think that Sony is going to ignore that same aspect on a console with millions of people on it. So even though we're saying goodbye to PlayStation Home, I don't think we've seen the end of virtual social environments on a Sony PlayStation console. See ya.